Yeah.
Well, definitely some teams seem to make it feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints have just pretended it doesn't exist for a while now.
And the Eagles are paying everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like the way, whatever they're doing.
Hey, man. There, Joe Burrow is giving his foray into free agency the approach. And, you know, dun, 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 they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Because that franchise, the Bengals, they traditionally are penny pinchers. And coming off of the Eagles, you know, Mount Fuji, their high of winning a Super Bowl, a lot of franchises, including their divisional mates, which we'll get to it maybe at a later date, the Cowboys, you know, the Giants are looking to emulate them, or at least the fans are wanting the franchises to go in that direction. But, you know, we truly usually lead the pace. We're trying to set the trends, not follow them, and that sets us apart from most of the other teams around the league. You know, with the amount of success we've had since 2000, since Jerry Lurie has become owner. You know, it's been pretty astounding. You know, one of the top 5 franchises in that regard, and truly one to model yourself after. But you know, it really starts with GM Howie Roseman and his approach to free agency, the draft, and you know, players' contracts and management, and that's what Joe Burrow was talking about. You know, Philly to see him be able to keep everyone. You know, we extended AJ Brown, we extended Smitty, we extended our left tackle Jordan Mailata, we extended a while ago, but you know, it fits into the wheelhouse. Lane Johnson, who's on under contract until 2027. We extended Landon Dickerson, our left guard. We got other guys done. I mean, so it's amazing what we've been able to do. And going in free agency, we got Bond on a cheap contract, and then Mekhi Becton on a cheap contract. Brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson under a reasonable number. Went out and got Saquon Barkley, who was seen as a luxury piece, but he ended up being, you know, the straw that starts to drink as far as the ground game goes, and centering things around that. How do you manage these contracts? I mean, Howie Roseman has committed, I think, an astounding $390 million to void year deals, which is, you know, pretty hefty. And I know it's like in the top 5 of the league, if not number 1 or 2. But the Bengals have the lowest such contracts. I mean, they don't have any of those. They haven't operated like that because they like to, similar to Jerry Jones, run the contracts down to, you know, the wire, and then have to extend people. They're letting Jamar Chase, when they could have paid him and had a more reasonable salary within, you know, he might have been top 3. You know, now he's probably going to be number 1 to overtake whoever is at the top right now. I think it might be CeeDee Lamb, but you know, I think it's not CeeDee. I think it's Justin Jefferson. So I mean, it's crazy that you would take that approach when you have the surplus, dollars sitting in the bank. This money just going to waste because you're not truly trying to be a contender. You're trying to be a top, maybe 5 franchise. You know, as far as, you know, money goes. You know, every year Jerry Jones sells his ticket holders on, you know, the promise of, you know, them being a team that might get over the hump this year. And every year, so many suckers line up. You know, I can say it's truly loyalty, foolish loyalty, but loyalty on their behalf. And much to their chagrin, you know, nothing really ever changes. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been in the running for a Super Bowl or an NFC Championship, you know, since 1996. Over 30 years, man. It's amazing. Almost my entire life, they've been, you know, inept, and because of their owner, because of their approach. He is the de facto GM, and like I said, we have a guy like Howie who knows how to massage the numbers. And you know, they asked him, you know, a couple of years ago, why? You know, he's like, why not? You know, treat the salary cap like, you know, it's a loan. It's just like an interest-free loan. You know, basically, the money's sitting there, you know, for you to manipulate it, move it around, and you don't do that. You refuse to do so because, I mean, there are some, you know, limitations. Every few years we have to make sure we don't go bust as far as, you know, salary cap ramifications, but there are like I said, on the extreme end of the deal, the New Orleans Saints, who take the approach to the extreme end, and now they're $54 million under the cap. I mean, which is why I was like, Kellen Moore, you sure you want to take that job? Because it just seems like it's set up for failure. He's interviewing the quarterback's coach, Nussmeier, who he brought with him here to Philly, and then Christian Parker, our DB's coach, trying to interview him for the defensive coordinator spot. And I'm like, bro, I would not be willing to go there because it's just not a situation that seems tenable, and they're gonna have to cut so much fat because be non competitive for so many years just to clear that money. And then in an interim, how do you compete? You got to hit on so many things, and yeah, you might be decent on offense, but you don't have to nearly the level of players that you had here in Philly. So you're walking into a bad setup, a bad situation. And with the Bengals, I loathe is that people want to take away credit from Jalen Hurts and say that, he's got a easy setup. Any quarterback in the league could walk into that and be a top 5 quarterback. No. You missed the part where we did our due diligence, and not only all three parts: free agency, the draft, and developing our own talent. The guys and getting those contracts under control. We often sign guys to deals years before they get what would likely be market value, but allows us to stay competitive and pay them, but at the same time work the salary cap numbers. Like Jalen Hurts, his contract I think this year will only be have a salary cap hit of like $26 million, which allows us so much flexibility. But you look at other guys, $40 million, Dak like $70 million. It's ridiculous. They're not going to be able to do much. It limits them, all because they're paying a low percentage of players a chunk of money, and you have to pay the piper someday. And when that bill comes due, what do you have to show for it? We have guys that are of course willing to take less, but by taking care of them in the interim ahead of schedule, we are able to mitigate these problems. So just forethought, planning, just poor execution, and just like the vision for the franchise. Like, what are you truly seeking after? Like, you got guys like Joe Burrow. He's got his contract now, but he said he's willing to take a pay cut. He's willing to move, to sign some signing bonuses and restructures, so that he doesn't have to lose money, but they can move money around. He's like talking, a couple different ways how to kick the can down the proverbial road, and they're not even willing to to take these options. He's coming out here and saying this. He's willing to do these things. So it's not like it's greed on his front. You got to look at the billionaires, which get so often lost, that people like it's millionaires versus billionaires. Why should I care? I'll just side with the team owner. Bro, are they really putting out a product there that is worth its salt? Are they doing the best that they can, or are they just in it for the the dinero, the money? And there's questions you have to ask, because T. Higgins, he said he's willing to come back on a discount. So there's that. And then Jamar Chase, he's going to try to get his, his money's worth. But that's, 3 guys, and you're paying, the top salaries, when you could have avoided this by getting ahead of things, staying ahead of schedule. Because if you're, just surviving for today, or, you go shopping on an empty stomach, you're going to end up overspending. And that's essentially what these guys end up doing all the freaking time. And it's just people like I said, people are like, well, Hurts has this automatic setup. His GM puts him in a situation to be that fortuitous, to have these guys around him, to be, a bit of a stress-free approach as far as like, I don't have to worry about this, that, and the third, because I got my O-line built around the trenches on both sides of the ball. We brought in young guys, so in the interim, we don't have to worry about paying them. Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, John Dotson, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and then you finding guys that are you're glue guys, your red chip guys, but they may not come at a premium, but they're still pretty important. Like Reed Blankenship is only making like what, $3 million or so like that, and he knows the caliber of player he is. He knows what he how important he is, but he fits into that role. And I'm guessing Zach Bond's not gonna be looking to break the bank. He's willing to come back on a reasonable amount of money, which will set us up for a future video talking about dynasty building, while we're able to have the outlook. But don't get it twisted. That starts with the front office, winning 2 Super Bowls in a span of 8 years, and going to a third that we lost. But the track record as recent, we're 2-5 in Super Bowls, but 2 out of 3 in the last 8 years, not bad at all. So, but anyways, truth of the matter is that despite me, talking on, going on this great conversation about the Eagles and the Bengals, you're not even watching them, but it's all good because I love talking about the freaking stinking Philadelphia Eagles, and I love making these videos. So we'll chunk the deuces officially, but as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.